Hi everyone, how is everyone doing? Today I wanted to talk to you about three things to keep in mind as you're going through your daily devotionals. One, each book of the Bible uses poetic or ordinary language, and you can tell the difference between these usually fairly simply. However, sometimes as you're reading through, you're like, I don't know about that. So here's an example for you. Psalms 139, 7 through 10. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. So, right there, when it says, if I rise on the wings of the dawn, of course, he's not meaning literally. He's saying, if I could, right? Compare that to Mark 12, 29, 31. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment than these. So that second portion is Jesus directly speaking. And when you're finding yourself in a certain book of the Bible, it's often a good idea to take a look at that book as a whole, especially at the beginning. Chapter 1 can be very important because that chapter usually gives you an idea of what kind of language the book will be using. For example, in Psalms, oftentimes they'll say a Psalms, which means basically a song, versus some books of the Bible where they'll actually say this is an account of. Number 2, it follows a specific plot. And I didn't really get this growing up. When I was reading the Bible, I saw it as bits and pieces that were all put into the same book, right? But if you look at the Bible as a whole, you realize there is a story arc here. Um, you see from the very beginning in Genesis, we have this opening scene where Adam and Eve are created, the world is created, and then there's the fall of mankind, and sin enters the world. And that is where the inciting incident really hits. It's this incident that sets off this chain of events. So when sin enters the world, suddenly we are faced with all these different people throughout the books of the Bible where they find, I am a sinful person. I make mistakes, and there's no way I can get out of this. There's no way I can get around it. No matter what I do, I can't escape this sin that's inside of me. But then Jesus is born. And especially when Jesus goes on the cross and dies for the sins of mankind, we have hit the climax. We've hit the apex. And once we've hit that point, we realize all these things that happened before, all these problems we were having, we couldn't get sin out of our lives. It was always there. And Jesus said, let me take care of that. I'll fix it. I'll take the punishment. Once that happens, the hero rises and takes the punishment on himself. Everything following that, Acts, Romans, we have basically an epilogue leading down. And in that epilogue, it's telling us all the things that happened as a result of Christ dying on the cross, the people's lives that changed. We are still living that epilogue right now. And finally, at the very end, it gives us a teaser, if you will. Revelation is a teaser. It's kind of like a cliffhanger at the end of a movie. You're like, oh, there's going to set up for round 2. Marvel, the next Marvel movie is going to set up for the next one. This is what Revelation is. It's a teaser for what's coming next. Number 3. So why does that all matter? Why does it matter what the language is, how they speak, how they're saying things? Why does it matter if we know that there's a certain plot to it? Because if you don't understand those things, you can't connect what the Bible is all about. The Bible all points to one hero, Jesus. Jesus is the hero of the Bible. He's the person that the book is really about. So when you are reading through the Bible, think through it in that mindset that, how does this point to Jesus? What is this going to happen? What's going to happen here? You know, when you go through and you read about all these genealogies and this person had this person and this person had this person, those things are important. And the reason they're in the Bible is because they point to Jesus. You start to realize the importance of all these events that are taking place. And really, when you think about all these things happening over thousands of years, you realize this was not an extra side project This was God's plan. And I think this one verse sums it up really nicely. Revelation 22:13. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. It all begins with Jesus. It all begins with Jesus, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, and it all ends there too. And as you think about that, as you go through your days, as you think about your story, what part is Christ playing in that story? His rightful place is the hero of your story. So what are you making Christ out to be? So as we go through this time of COVID, I want to ask you guys, what do you all need? What is something that you need to hear about that maybe you just don't fully understand? I would love to know what that is. I'd love to make a full devotion on it. And if you have anything like that, leave it in the comments or shoot me a message about it. I'll be more than happy to look all those over and hopefully get back with you as quickly as possible. But until next time, I miss you all so much, and have a great rest of the week, guys.